to doing that.
Madam Leader,
Wait a minute, you had a question yesterday.
Oh.
Some of your colleagues privately say that your decision to stay on prohibits the party from having a younger leadership and will be hurts the party in the long term. What's your response?
Next.
Leader Pelosi. Leader.
Oh, you've always asked that question except to Mitch McConnell.
Leader Pelosi. Say the same thing about Mr. Hoyer. No, excuse me. Mr. Hoyer, Mr. Clyburn, you're all over 70. Is your decision to stay on prohibit younger leadership from moving forward?
So you're suggesting that everybody step aside?
No, I'm simply saying that to delay younger leadership from moving forward in the House Democratic ranks.
I think that what you will see, and let's for a moment honor it as a legitimate question, although it's quite offensive, but you don't realize that, I guess. The fact is that everything that I have done in my almost decade now of leadership is to elect younger and newer people to the Congress.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Ben Mankiewicz from Turner Classic Movies, and we're talking about Luke Russert. You just saw the clip, and it's not really. How dumb can you be? Right now, we've called him the world's most successful intern, and that's because he really is just an intern. He hasn't learned how to be. He's not a journalist. And so he got the job. We all know why, because he was the most qualified. And he went and did his time. He put his time in.
I can't remember, what was the small market that he went to work in to sort of earn his stripes?
He went to his grandpa's house, and I think he fed him baby food. And then they said, "Hey, we're going to make you NBC's new reporter on the Hill." So he didn't cut his teeth. He didn't do any of that, right? He just went from nothing. He went from college to being a reporter for an NBC News, right?
That seems to be what happened. Yeah,
National
it
news.
Feels that way. Yeah.
So we're talking on the phone right now with Luke Russert. Now, Luke, we saw you pull a little boner there. You bit off a little bit more than you can chew. You asked Nancy Pelosi why doesn't she quit because she's an old lady. What were you thinking, Luke, when you said?
Well, what's the big deal, Jimmy? All I did was raise a legitimate issue.
Which is what? What was the legitimate issue?
Old people suck. Come on, Jimmy, it's true. Have you ever been in a car on the freeway stuck behind an intelligent woman who's worked for a decade to become a highly qualified professional? It friggin' blows, dude.
Okay, Luke, well, some people would say that you're the last person that should be questioning the qualifications of someone to do their job. You understand?
Whoa, Jimmy. Are you actually bringing up the tragic death of my father, Tim Russert?
Yes, I am, Luke. That's what I'm doing. I'm bringing that.
I wish you wouldn't, because I don't feel comfortable talking about the biggest break of my career. When something that awesome happens, it's best to keep it to yourself.
But everybody already knows that you got your job because of nepotism, Luke. Everybody knows that.
That is so unfair, dude.
How so?
I'm totally qualified for my job.
How? How are you qualified to do your...
Well, Tim Russert was my father, and I am his son.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Therefore, I was more than qualified for a nepotistic gig when it came available.
Yeah, but don't you understand that people take umbrage when you say that Nancy Pelosi and other leaders should step aside just because there are younger people waiting to take their job? You don't get that is the wrong thing to say? That
Okay, but by the same token, people who get jobs totally based on merit are standing in the way of someone who wants that job solely based on the biological accident of their birth.
Yeah.
It works both ways, Jimmy.
No.
Both sides do it.
Luke.
Both sides do it.
That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't...
Both sides do it.
Yeah. I hear you saying both sides do it, but that doesn't make any sense. What does that mean when you say both sides do it? I don't...
Jimmy, did you ever read my dad's book about my granddad, Big Russ, and me?
No, I didn't. I never read
I told my father he should just call that book, "Why Don't You Just Die, You Little Fuck?" I mean, Dad used to always make me visit Big Russ's house. It smelled like peanut brittle covered in poop.
Okay.
Big Russ would kiss me on my cheek, and I'd have a gummy, slurpy old guy hickey on my face, like for weeks. I'm a reporter, Jimmy. I'm supposed to report the truth. And the truth is that elderly old coots are grody to the max.
Okay, well, Luke, you're not making any sense, but thanks for joining us today.
Jimmy?
Yeah?
I just want to remind you of one thing.
What's that, Luke?
I have made more money by the time I'm 30 than you will make in your entire pathetic life.
Okay, well, this is what it's all about, isn't it, Luke? Right? It's all about the money. It's not about journalism. It's not. Well, thanks for joining us, Luke. That's all.
No problem, dude. Suck my overprivileged dick, you pathetic middle-aged butt boinker.
Okay. All right, Luke Russert. Thanks, Luke, for joining us.
I'm surprised to hear young people use the term butt boinker. Yeah, I didn't know that's how they talk.
I think it's the kind of lame, stupid thing that Luke Russert would say.
Yeah, is that right? Yeah. Okay, well, that's a fair point. It was big of him to join you.
Big of him to take his medicine like that.
Yeah,
take the lumps.
Yeah, I also liked that when he first asked Nancy Pelosi the question, and there was this sort of enormous reaction to it of everybody on stage. What he thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask it again.
I'm going to ask it again.
Let me ask it a second time.
Wait a
Maybe
minute.
she didn't hear me. Yeah.
Maybe
because she's so old.
Yeah, maybe they heard the question wrong.
Yeah.
With their hard of hearing old
Totally.
lady ears.
Right. They hadn't turned up their hearings. By the way, she brought it up there. Steny Hoyer, Jim Clyburn, the number 2 and 3 people, 73 and 72.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they should all just leave.
You should all just leave. And somebody out there said you wouldn't ask that question of Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
Which he has not asked that question of Mitch McConnell, has he?
Yeah. No, I suspect he hasn't.
Yeah, it's weird. Luke's not used to. He doesn't understand how it works when someone actually works and earns their position. That people actually voted for them and have put them in that position because it's a symbiotic relationship of someone working to achieve it and other people rewarding them.
That's a complicated concept. So I think you got to cut him a break on that.
But he's like, excuse me, Ms. Pelosi, don't you have a daughter who'd like to be Speaker? How is she going to be Speaker if you don't quit or die?